All right, welcome everyone to today's explainer. Today we're looking at a tiny two-letter word that is literally everywhere. You probably use it every single day, right? Whether you're texting your friends, agreeing with your parents, or even shouting commands at your smart speaker. We say it so much, we don't even process it anymore. Okay, let's dive into this and uncover the totally fascinating, wildly unexpected history of the word okay.
So, where did the word okay actually come from? Think about it. It's arguably the most recognizable word on the entire planet, but its origins, surprisingly bizarre. It didn't come down from some high-minded academic institution, and it doesn't have roots in ancient Rome or Greece. Actually, it started out as something way closer to how you and your friends text each other today.
Here's our agenda for this explainer. First, the ultimate two-letter word. Then, an 1830s inside joke. The first political meme. Telegraphs and read receipts. The craze for K. And finally, the neutral affirmative. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The ultimate two-letter word.
Just two letters. We really need to wrap our heads around how two specific letters out of the entire alphabet became the absolute gold standard for human communication. Now, you might assume a word with this much global staying power must have these deep, ancient roots, right? Like so many of our foundational words. But nope, not at all. It was actually born from a very specific and honestly surprisingly goofy moment in American history.
Section 2. An 1830s inside joke.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this takes us back to a super weird linguistic fad in Boston nearly 200 years ago. It turns out, young people making up weird slang, definitely not a new thing. Back in the 1830s, young intellectual types in Boston started this trend of intentionally misspelling abbreviations. It was basically a way to flex on people, to delight those who were in the know with these butchered, coded messages. It's literally the exact same thing as modern internet slang. So they used KC for "nuff said," meaning enough said. KY stood for no use, no use. OW was all right, and, drumroll please, OK, which stood for all correct. At the time, all correct was just a common phrase to say everything was good to go. But out of all these bizarre inside jokes, OK was the only one that actually survived.
Section 3. The first political meme.
Because this joke, it was about to escape the local Boston scene and become a massive national phenomenon. Picture this, March 23, 1839. This is the big day OK was first published in the Boston Morning Post, and the idea spread like wildfire. Other newspapers picked up the joke, spreading it across the country. Suddenly, everyone's in on it. Then, by 1840, U.S. President Martin Van Buren, who was struggling a bit and originally from Kinderhook, New York, he actually adopted it as a nickname for his re-election campaign. And finally, boom, 1844, the Telegraph debuts, completely rewiring how the world communicates. Those 5 years, absolutely crucial.
Let's zoom in on that 1840 election for a second, because it is a textbook example of an early viral meme. Van Buren's supporters went all in, forming OK clubs across the country. Their message was super clever. Old Kinderhook, his nickname, was all correct. But as politics goes, the campaign turned incredibly nasty in the press. His political opponents basically trolled him. They flipped the abbreviation right back at him, claiming OK actually stood for Orphan Conspiracy or Orphan Catastrophe. And neutrally speaking, just looking at the history, it was a pretty brilliant counterattack. In the end, the clever nickname didn't save Van Buren's presidency, but it was a massive, massive win for the word OK, firmly locking it into the American vocabulary.
Section 4. Telegraphs and read receipts.
So the 1840 campaign made OK famous, sure, but fame doesn't guarantee a word sticks around forever. All those other abbreviations from the Boston fad, they vanished. OK survived because it collided with a total game changer of a technology. Let's quickly break down how the 1844 telegraph worked. It was simple, but completely revolutionary. An operator lowers a little bridge, which sends an electric current shooting through a wire to the other side. That current triggers a sounder to physically click down, tapping out a message in short and long pulses, dots and dashes.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why OK survived. If you compare an 1844 telegraph operator tapping out OK to a modern smartphone's read receipt, or those little blue check marks, it's the exact same thing. The letters O and K were incredibly easy to tap out in Morse code. They were super distinct, very unlikely to be confused with anything else. So telegraph operators just started using it as the standard automatic way to say, hey, got your message. It was literally the 19th century version of leaving someone on read.
Just look at this amazing quote from an 1865 telegraphic manual. No message is ever regarded as transmitted until the office receiving it gives OK. I mean, wow, that right there proves that OK had completely crossed over from being just a funny piece of slang into a totally legitimate, highly functional, and strictly required part of American business. Operators on the rapidly expanding U.S. railroads relied on it constantly, just to keep trains from crashing into each other. OK had officially become serious business.
Section 5. The craze for K. But even after the telegraph, there was something undeniably striking about the word visually that just kept it glued in the American consciousness. You know, the letter K is actually pretty rare to start a word with in English. It ranks somewhere around 22nd in the alphabet. Because it was so unusual, early advertisers at the turn of the century sparked this massive trend. They started replacing hard C's with K's just to catch the consumer's eye. So clear became clear flax linen rugs. Cook became a Cook-Right stove. Modifying the spelling just completely grabbed your visual attention. And we still see this exact visual strategy in modern corporate logos today. Think about Krispy Kreme or Kool-Aid. It's the K that makes it all so deeply memorable.
Now, really quickly, we do have to debunk a very persistent myth here. Some people claim OK comes from the Choctaw word okea, which means so it is. And here's why that happened. By the 1890s, almost everybody had totally forgotten about that silly 1830s Boston spelling joke. And because the true origin was lost to time, newspapers just started debating its history and straight up inventing fake origin stories. The Choctaw theory is one of those myths that a lot of people still believe today, but as we've seen, it absolutely all goes back to all correct.
Section 6. The neutral affirmation.
So let's look at the psychological and functional role of OK in our modern day-to-day lives. The crucial point here is captured perfectly by Alan Metcalf, who literally wrote the definitive history on the word. He says that OK affirms without evaluation. Think about what that actually means for a second. OK doesn't convey deep, passionate emotion. It just acknowledges and accepts information, almost like an automatic reflex. If you say you got home OK, it just means you're safe. If you say the food was OK, it just means it was acceptable. You aren't judging it heavily. You're simply confirming the reality of it.
When you step back, the historical contrast is just massive. On one hand, back in 1839, OK was just a corny, intentionally misspelled joke among young Boston intellectuals. But on the other hand, today, it is the ultimate neutral affirmative. It is absolutely mind-blowing to think about how a goofy meme from the 1800s transformed into the most functional, emotionless utility word human beings possess. It went from an inside joke to a political weapon to an essential piece of railroad safety tech, and finally into the most reflexively used word in our entire vocabulary. And I'm going to leave you with this final amazing fact and a little something to ponder. Because OK is such an automatic reflexive word, it was arguably the very first word spoken by humans when we landed on the moon. Honestly, not bad at all for an 1830s meme. So as you're texting your friends today, using your own abbreviations and internet slang, ask yourself, what modern slang do you use right now that is going to survive for the next 200 years? Will one of your acronyms be the first word spoken on Mars? Thanks for joining me on this Explainer today, students. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.